my function at DP is operations. So I'm in charge of everything from marketing to finance to research and development and sales and marketing. The company DP Technology has three main lines of product. The first one is called ESPRIT. It's a CAMS software for CNC equipment. The second one is Binary Spaces, which is a simulation software for industrial applications. And the third venture is Machining Cloud, which is a cloud-based system for digital twins and apps knowledge in an industrial and manufacturing environment. Probably the project we're most proud of is the latest generation of the ESPRIT software, which integrates artificial intelligence. This has been in the making for the last 20 or 25 years, so obviously back in those days we weren't talking about artificial intelligence, but we were doing artificial intelligence in some ways because we had a system that was rules-based. And that being rules-based was making decisions and therefore was in some ways artificial intelligence. And we have since then added a lot of capabilities to this system to the point now where we can automate a lot of functions that used to be very manual in CAM in general. And I think we've taken a leap forward versus our competition in that respect. As for the job market, what computers in general, processing power does in general is eliminate repetitive tasks, okay? So it basically is the boring stuff. Nobody wants to do the boring stuff, right? You know, people think I'm going to be eliminated because some robot or artificial intelligence is going to replace my job. But it's not exactly how it works. I don't have the exact statistics, but for every job that is eliminated because it's a job that requires just rote, repetitive things to be done, you create a bunch of other jobs that are much more rewarding and much more interesting. And the difference is probably 3-to-1. So for every one job that you lose, there's 3 that are being created. And so I think that at the end of the day, it's going to be good for the job market. In fact, in America right now, in the US, because I can speak about that because I know a little bit more than other places, we lack engineers. There's not enough engineers to do all this work. And so that's a big problem. We never go fast enough, I suppose. One big obstacle, matter of fact, is there's several things. There's a cultural adoption. Okay, so to be able to go into, let's say, a machine shop with some traditional machinery and people that have been set in their ways, doing things a certain way, is a little bit difficult for them to accept these new concepts. So there needs to be some sort of a cultural change, although it's happening right now because as the older generation retires, there's a new generation that comes in that has been growing with the iPhone, with with the computer games, with all of this technology, and they don't have the patience of the older generation. They want things done quickly, and so that adoption is going to really help. This new wave of younger generation is going to really help adoption of these new technologies. So that's what I'm hoping for. From our perspective, I think that the greatest problem is in hiring enough brain power to be able to go fast enough. And that's a little bit what we're lacking, and it's true anywhere in the world. And so in our case, we develop software in 6 different locations because we cannot find enough people in one location to do all the work. We develop software, of course, in the US, but we also have a development team in France, in Italy, in Germany, and one in Russia as well. Working with different cultures is really interesting, simply because each culture has a different way of looking at a problem. And when you mix people together, you become extremely creative. You don't get tunnel vision. You really understand the problem from different point of views, and you can come up with the best solution possible. And I think that our people are very sensitive to working with all these different cultures and really create strong teams that utilize the strengths and weaknesses of each to come up with the best solutions. The first thing that I saw was the beautiful theater. It was very impressive. The organization so far has been impeccable. That's also something that I'm very impressed with. The conference itself, there are a lot of high-powered people here who know a lot about digitalization and all of these new technologies. And I have been able to pick up a few good, important points that I guess give me a different perspective on the market. And then finally, since I don't come to Russia very often, there's something else as well that is good for me, is to really, first of all, enjoy the people and the culture, and to see how things are being done here as opposed to other places in the world. And so all of these things together, and just realize that I've been here only a few hours, it's a little bit overwhelming, but I think it's going to be, once I absorb it, it's going to be very, very interesting.